Hello guys, welcome to Self-Talk Body Soul channel. I am Maria and today I am offering you a slightly different video content. At the end of last video I sort of talked about the idea that we don't schedule in the time for our happiness and we do too much but not enough of the things that actually make us happy, and that's why we get in the period of unhappiness. For a while I had this idea of creating a poster of a kind where I would note down all the things that make me happy and that bring me joy, something that I could use as a reference point for when I feel deflated and I feel like I need some kind of nourishment time for myself. Because sometimes when I feel down, I don't know how to help myself, and so I think to have that visual reminder is really beneficial. And so that's kind of the idea for today's video. I want to offer you a way in which you can create a similar type of poster. And so I sat down and I made one for myself, and I've just recorded myself doing that, and now I'm just going to talk you through what I've been doing and the thinking process and how you can make one yourself. So all you really need for this activity is a piece of paper. I chose a black sheet of size A3. You can go as big or as small as you want, any color you want. I sort of wanted to create it a bit more artsy and pretty, and so I kind of wanted to go for a chalkboard type look. Beforehand, what I've done is I've created a list of things that make me happy and make me feel nourished on just a separate sheet of paper, and it's good to do that because it can serve you as a template for what you're going to put on your beautiful poster. Once you've done that, and the way you can do that, I personally have done it in the moment when I felt quite depressed and I felt malnourished emotionally and mentally and physically. Not through food, I mean, but just malnourishment as in tired and depleted. And in those moments, I quite acutely feel what it is that I need and want. And so those, for me, are the better moments to actually note down all the things that make me feel nourished and joyful. And once you do that, then you can sort of think about the look of the poster that you want to create. So in my poster, as you can see, it consists of 3 separate sections. Well, actually 4. So there's 3 big sections and then there's 1 circle in the middle. And there is a reason for that. So my 3 big sections are the things that are necessary in my life. So things like if you go to school or university or you work, and cooking, shopping, food shopping, and things like that, things that are an absolute necessity in life, they will go there because they're non-negotiables. So they're the things that I can't choose not to do, because if I'm not going to cook for myself, then I can't eat, so it's sort of the thing that I have to do. So that section I can't avoid in my life, and so that needs to be on my poster because those are the things that I need to focus on as well. And the other 2 sections are the things that bring me joy. It's anything that creates that sort of feeling of excitement. So if you don't know what brings you joy, think of a feeling of excitement. It could be anything for you. It all depends on your interests and your personal hobbies and things that fulfill you really in that way. And if you are the type of person that, and I know type of people like that don't know what makes them happy, well, this is a cue for you to really go out there and find out. There is a plethora of resources online on how to find new hobbies and how to figure out what it is that you enjoy. But one of the ways I actually gave in the last video, and that is to declutter your life from the things that are not necessary, and this poster can actually really help you in doing that as well. You make sure that your your day is only filled with activities that you absolutely have to do, so bring it all the way down to the minimal tasks. And whatever time you have left, don't allow yourself to get distracted and go on social media, because that is really, really distracting, and I found that for myself recently again. But in that spare time, just feel what it is that you're drawn towards, because when our brains get bored in those moments of, you know, free time, we as a society nowadays, we tend to reach for our phones, and we just fill up that space and time with distracting activities that are not ultimately fulfilling. But when we get rid of those distractions, we actually allow our brains to get bored. And in that boredom space, that is a very, very useful and very creative space. You know, boredom is really underrated, because what it allows you to do is find something that will fill your time. The overworkers amongst us will try and be productive, and I'm raising my hand up here because I am definitely an overworker and I need to fill up my time with productive activities. But I've found that it's not the most healthy thing to do, because I also need rest and I need to fulfill my inner child. I need to make sure that I do something in my days that makes me happy and joyful. And so, yeah, that's what you can use your free time for, focusing on what it is that you're drawn towards, what interests you, what is it that you want to look up, you know, what can you read books on and not get bored of that, you know, or do research of a kind on, or maybe it's a physical hobby that you're drawn towards, maybe it's a physical activity like sports or a class or whatever, dance, singing, if you're even just singing in a shower, maybe you want to do more with singing, you know, so it could be absolutely anything. So those are the things that I've sort of put in my joy section. And then there is a section that is my nourishment, and it is slightly different from joy, because nourishment it's like, if you like, joy is like eating sweets and eating chocolate cake, you know, or pizza, and nourishment is like a broth with vegetables and something that is like so healthy, and it's moreish, and when you eat that, you really feel like your body is getting those nutrients in, and it just feels like, oh, that feels so good, and you feel revitalized. So that's what sort of nourishment part is about for me. It's the things that when I feel very tired, when I feel exhausted, when I feel depleted, whether it's emotionally or physically or spiritually or mentally, whichever one of those aspects of my being is malnourished, that is what I focus on, you know, and I try to fulfill that part of me, and that is what the nourishment part is about for me. So in this area, I sort of put things like massage, whether I go for massage or I do self-massage, or, you know, a bath with some oils and aromatherapy. It's nature. For me, nature is such a big part of my life. It really just, you know, it brings me joy, that internal joy, but at the same time it does really fulfill me and make me feel nourished and connected to myself again. Because I think partially, you know, malnourishment comes from when you start sort of disconnecting with yourself a little bit, when you work too hard, or when you care too much for others and not enough for yourself. And so nourishment is sort of synonymous with coming back to yourself. So in this section, I've put things that help me reconnect with myself and parts of myself that may feel malnourished. And, you know, over time, obviously we've got the part about the necessities, and that is something that I've called bare necessities. The goal is to make all of these things sort of, you know, as close to being combined as possible. So, you know, there is a lot of activities that are nourishing and also joyful, and hopefully what we can do is over time bring the activities that are necessary in your life to also nourish you and also bring you joy, so that nothing in your life feels like a burden or you know, like something that you don't really want to do but you have to, because it's not really a nice place to be. But even if you are in a place right now where some of your necessities are unpleasant and you'd rather not do them, I think that's when this poster is even more useful, because even if you have to do, at least for now, the things that you don't want to do, but you have to, make sure that you put the things that make you feel nourished and joyful into your schedule, because then you know, if there's more of those things, then the things that are not as pleasant will not matter so much. They won't affect you so much. That's sort of where we're heading towards. And obviously there is this central component to my poster, and what that is about is the things that sort of intertwine. So they are in all three, or at least two of the sections. So like I mentioned before, nature, it brings me joy and it brings me nourishment, and like almost like nothing else. And I don't just mean like a park or, you know, sort of man-made sort of natural space. That doesn't quite do it for me. I need to be in wilderness, in a pretty raw sort of place where preferably there will be no people. And so I am going to put nature and being outside in that space. The same with exercise. You know, when I feel like I'm tired or exhausted, I do a little bit of stretching or yoga, and it makes me feel so much more energetic, contrary to the belief that, you know, if I'm tired, I shouldn't be doing more exercise, but actually it's not quite true. Exercise makes you feel a lot more energetic. So I make sure to do that as well, to nourish myself. And also, you know, in terms of these two things, nature and exercise, for me, because it is nourishing to me and it brings me joy, it kind of becomes my necessity as well. Because if I don't get enough nourishment in my life of this kind on a regular basis, I notice that I start to become more and more unhappy very quickly. And so in a way, when something is your nourishment and your joy, it kind of has to become your necessity as well. It has to become something that you do regularly, whatever regularly means for you. And so that is going to go into my central part, on top of things like spending time with my partner, connecting with inspiring people, whether I'm inspiring them or they're inspiring me. That energy of inspiration and ideas and talking about life, I just love that. And so that also goes into the central part. So those are your sort of focus points in life. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel exhausted, you can come back to this poster and really look at, what am I not putting in my life that makes me feel depleted right now? Do I need more nourishment in my life? Do I need more joy in my life? Or maybe I'm simply not even fulfilling my central, you know, necessary aspects that are really important to me. And eventually, as I was writing these things, I realized that if some things that I do in my life are not on this poster, why on earth am I doing them at all? If something is not necessary, if something doesn't fulfill me in terms of bringing me joy or nourishment, why on earth am I doing it? And it really opened my eyes up, and I realized the junk that is in my life, how much it, you know, because if something that you do is not your necessity, it doesn't bring you joy and it doesn't nourish you, it depletes you. And so really, you know, I thought I'm creating a poster for the times when I feel depleted and sad and whatever else, but truly what this poster is a poster of your life. Because if something is not on this poster, then you should not be doing it at all. And this has really become such a great exercise for me to focus, you know, on the things that I need to eliminate from my life. For example, social media is not on this poster. So why on earth am I spending hours on it? You know, or certain people in your life, if they are depleting your energy because they constantly complain, they don't bring you joy, they don't bring you nourishment, then why are you talking to these people? You know, it was just such a big insight for me, and I hope that once you create your poster of joy, then you will see this as well. And even in terms of necessities, if you realize that, you know, there's a part of your poster that you're looking at in terms of where your necessities are, and you realize that, you know, it creates that feeling of heaviness, or, you know, almost like there is like a resistance to it, you know, because you feel like, oh, I really wish that wasn't on my poster at all. Well, then maybe that's the call for you to start making some changes in this direction and make this, you know, transform this area of your life into something that can be joyful again, or, you know, just can be joyful. And once you've sort of created your text, and, you know, you've created this the block of your poster in terms of writing, and you feel content with what you have on the poster, obviously, you know, if you feel like something is wrong or you don't really quite like the look of it, you can always start again. You know, don't restrict yourself to just, you know, if you don't feel like your first one needs to be a final one. It will change throughout time either way, because you're human and you're going to change, your interests are going to change, your priorities are going to change, and your necessities are going to change. And that is normal, and that is actually really good, because it means you're growing as a person. So, you know, don't think that this poster will serve you for years to come. But some of these things I think will stay. You know, like for me, I think nature is just never going to go anywhere for me, and exercise as well. And I think for most people that is the case, as well as spending time with people that you love. But other things, they chop and change, and that's normal. And so, yeah, it's a good exercise to maybe come back to this this activity and revise it and see where the changes have occurred, maybe where the changes need to happen again. And finally, the thing that I will add as well is decorate your poster. You know, it's something that you want to put in a visible place in your apartment or your house, wherever you live. And you know, you need to put it somewhere where you can see it every day, because this needs to be a visual reminder of where your priorities are. Because if you're going to draw this and then you're going to put it away into some kind of drawer and you will never see it again, don't even start doing it, because there's no point in it. Because the point of this poster is, of course, in the process of it you will get a lot of insights and ideas, but if you're just going to lock it away and you're never going to look at it again, it will not have any benefit in your life. So make it so beautiful that you want to have it as some kind of, you know, piece of art in your space, or something that attracts your attention. Make it colorful, make it, you know, I don't know, make it something that really looks cool for you. So I have been recently very much into neurographic drawing. I'm not going to go into detail of what it is, but those lines that I've drawn in the beginning to separate my 3 areas are called neurographic lines. And they're very powerful in transforming our mental patterns. And so I've thought this is very relevant in this exercise, and so that's why I added them here, on top of them being just pretty. And also at the end here, what you see is me adding some Slavic runes. They are very powerful symbols, basically, and I know what they mean and the message that they carry for me, and so I've added them as well for that extra powerful sort of kick to my poster. And I think they're pretty as well, so that's why I love them here. And you can add whatever you like, whatever will make you want to look at your poster and make you feel like it's feeding your soul, and it's empowering you, and it's making you remember where your priorities lie. So that will be it, my darling friends. And yeah, if you feel uninspired, or you feel like you don't really know what to write, go on Pinterest, you know, go on Instagram, find different ideas for what you want to add to your poster, and maybe how to decorate it, and just be a little bit creative and let your inner joy, inner child guide this process. And yeah, just have fun, have a little bit of fun, and I really hope that this will bring you nourishment to your life, and it will be beneficial to you. So thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. If you do try this activity out, please take a photo, send it over to me, or tag me in a story or something if you want to share it online. I would really love to see your creations, and let me know what insights you've had since doing it, and how it's affecting your life. If you will put it up somewhere and you will be looking at it every day, I would love to know that it's helping and how it's helping. So yeah, let's communicate and share our experiences. And for now, I just want to say I'm grateful that you're here, you're watching my materials and connecting with me. Please like this video if you did enjoy this content, and subscribe to not miss any new content. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one.